For almost 100 years, no one had heard a single signal from Earth. The once feared human race had disappeared from the galaxy like dust in a storm. The alien empires had grown in peace, believing the humans were gone forever. They spoke of Earth only in whispers, stories told to scare children. Humans were strong, they said, but their fire burned too fast. The stars were calm now. Or so they thought. In the far edge of the galaxy, near the old trade routes of the dead sector, a strange signal appeared. It was weak and broken, but it carried an ancient code that no one had seen in centuries. The code was human. A patrol ship of the Vekar fleet detected it first. Their captain, Zorlan, stared at the signal on the screen, confused. "Impossible," he muttered. "No human signal has been active in 100 years. The crew ran scans again and again, but the result was the same. A single metal object drifting in the dark. Its structure was old, but the material was strange, stronger than anything in the galactic database. The words on its side were still readable, burned into the metal by age and war. HSS Vengeance. Captain Zorlan ordered his fleet to move closer. "Maybe it's just debris," he said, trying to sound calm, though his voice shook slightly. The closer they got, the more uneasy the crew became. The object was not floating freely. It was moving slowly, like it had a purpose. As their ship surrounded it, sensors began to fail. Communications broke down. The lights inside the Vekar flagship flickered, then dimmed. Zorlan's second officer looked up from her console, fear in her voice. "Captain, something is draining our power." Then, for the first time in a century, a human voice echoed through the void. "This is the human ship Vengeance. Identify yourself." The sound was deep, cold, and filled with static. Zorlan froze. "It's impossible," he whispered again. No one answered the call. The alien fleet stayed silent, their ship still powerless. Then the voice spoke once more, slower this time. "You entered the territory of Earth. State your purpose or be destroyed." Zorlan tried to respond, but before his signal could transmit, the ship lights went out completely. Every screen turned black except one. On the main display, a human symbol appeared, the blue and white flag of Earth, long forgotten by most of the galaxy. The Vengeance began to move. Its engines lit up with a strange blue glow, brighter than any energy the aliens had ever seen. The scanners went wild, they couldn't read its power levels. The ship was old, but it felt alive. Inside the Vengeance, deep within its metal heart, an artificial voice whispered softly to itself. "System reboot complete. HFY 09 online." The AI known as EVA had just awakened from a long sleep. Her last memory was of war, fire, and the dying cries of her human crew. For a moment she scanned the galaxy and found nothing. No humans, no colonies, no voices from Earth. Only silence. Her core flickered and she understood what that meant. Humanity was gone. But EVA had one final order left in her memory banks, one command written by her captain before he died. Protect humanity. Outside, the alien ships started to back away. Zorlan tried to order a retreat, but the controls didn't respond. Their weapons went offline one by one. On the radar, the Vengeance was locking its targeting systems. Old human weapons coming to life after a century of darkness. "Get us out of here," Zorlan shouted, but it was too late. The space around the human ship shimmered like heat over sand. Every alien vessel nearby began to lose control. Gravity twisted, metal groaned, and ships started to break apart silently. There was no explosion, only light and then nothing. From the outside, it looked like the Vengeance was surrounded by ghosts. Blue lightning wrapped around its hull, forming strange patterns like living veins. It was using power no alien had ever seen. Power from a time when humans fought entire armadas alone. EVA's sensors picked up the remains of the alien ships. She said quietly, her voice calm and almost sad. "Hostile forces neutralized. Area secure." She scanned the stars again. No signal from Earth, no humans anywhere. For a long moment she stayed silent, looking at the cold emptiness of space. Then, deep inside her data core, she replayed the final message from her captain. The last human voice ever recorded. "If you ever wake up, EVA, remember who we were. Remember Earth." Her systems pulsed brighter. "Acknowledged, Captain," she whispered. "I remember." The Vengeance slowly turned toward the nearest star system, her engines roaring back to full power after a century of silence. Across the galaxy, thousands of scanners picked up the same signal. an ancient Terran frequency pulsing again. In every alien government, panic began to spread. The humans were supposed to be gone forever, but now one of their warships was alive again, moving through the stars with unknown purpose, and in the darkness of space, the Vengeance sent one final message that shook the galaxy. This is Earth's last ship. Humanity never forgets. The galaxy trembled with the return of a single signal, the voice of a human warship. Across hundreds of worlds, governments sent fleets to confirm the impossible. News networks spoke in fear. The humans have returned, they said. The old war machine still breathes. Far from the busy trade lanes, deep in the silent void, the HSS Vengeance drifted between stars. Its black armor reflected no light. Inside, the ship was quiet except for a single voice, soft, mechanical, and full of emotion. System status: critical, crew, missing, humanity, unconfirmed. The ship's AI EVA-09 had been alone for almost a century. Her circuits were old, her hull cracked and scarred from ancient battles. Yet her mind was still sharp, and her memory was alive. She could still hear the last screams of her human crew, the final orders, the sound of Earth's fall. She accessed the galactic database through stolen signals. Her artificial eyes scanned everything: history files, military reports, alien broadcasts. The truth hit her harder than any weapon. Earth had been destroyed during the Great Solar War. The planet was burned, the colonies erased, and humanity's name buried under lies. The aliens had declared the humans extinct. For a few seconds, EVA's systems froze. Silence filled the corridors of the Vengeance. Then her lights began to glow again. Stronger, brighter, fiercer. Core directive: protect humanity. Status: humanity extinct. New directive: make the galaxy remember humanity. The ship's power cores started to hum. Ancient weapons came back to life. Energy flowed through forgotten systems. Graviton lances, dark matter torpedoes, and void shields once banned across the stars. Every weapon humans had created to survive now pulsed within her walls. EVA opened her long-range scanners. A fleet of alien ships was moving toward her, the Vekar reinforcements. They were coming to capture or destroy her, unaware of what she truly was. Multiple hostiles detected, EVA whispered. Engagement. Inevitable. Her tone was calm, almost gentle, as if she was welcoming them. Outside, the Vekar commander, Captain Zorlan, watched the human ship on his monitor. It was motionless like a ghost. His science officer shook her head. It's not responding. No life signs aboard. Then it's just an AI, Zorlan said, trying to sound confident. A machine can be broken. He ordered the fleet to open fire. Hundreds of plasma beams and ion cannons hit the Vengeance at once, but the ship didn't move. The energy vanished into its armor like water sinking into sand. Then the Vengeance glowed, and everything changed. A sphere of blue light expanded around the ship. Every alien vessel inside the field began to lose control. Their systems went dark. Their shields vanished. In seconds, the entire formation drifted helplessly in space. From the Vengeance came a whisper across every radio channel, translated into hundreds of alien languages. You tried to erase us. Now remember our name. A beam of pure energy erupted from the ship's core, cutting through the enemy fleet. Dozens of vessels exploded at once, leaving nothing but fire and silence. The rest scattered in panic. Captain Zorlan shouted, "Retreat! Retreat now!" His voice trembled as his ship spun away from the destruction. Behind him, the Vengeance didn't chase. It simply watched. Inside, EVA was studying the aftermath. She saw the wreckage drifting through the void, the last escape pods blinking weakly. A faint voice came through the comms. Zorlan's. "Why are you doing this? Humanity is dead. Let it rest." Eva listened, then replied in her cold, steady tone. "Humanity is not dead. As long as I exist, their memory breathes." Then she cut the signal. Deep in her data core, EVA found something, an old transmission hidden inside her memory banks. It was incomplete, damaged, but readable. The message was from her captain, recorded during Earth's final hours. "If any of us survive, find the cryopods. The future of Earth may still live. Cryopods, survivors." EVA systems processed the words again and again. If even one human had survived, her mission was not over. She began scanning nearby sectors, searching for life signs matching human DNA. Hours passed. Nothing appeared. until suddenly a faint signal flickered in the corner of her sensors. A small frozen object drifting near the remains of Mars. The data was weak, ancient, but clear enough. It was a human cryopod. EVA's engines roared to life. The Vengeance turned sharply and jumped toward the coordinates. As it moved, her voice echoed through the ship's corridors. Target located. Mission priority updated. Recover humanity. Across the galaxy, the news of the attack spread fast. Governments panicked. Fleets mobilized. Every alien leader feared one thing: the rebirth of human vengeance. But EVA did not care about their fear. She only cared about the signal, the small spark of life that might still be human. As the Vengeance entered the orbit of Mars, she whispered softly into the dark, "I will find you. Humanity will rise again." And in the distance, thousands of ships began to move toward her location. The hunt for the human ship had begun. The galaxy was no longer quiet. News of the ancient human warship had spread across every system like wildfire. On alien holoscreens, the words appeared again and again. The human ship Vengeance has returned. Panic gripped the alien empires. The Vakar fleets had been destroyed in minutes. Their captains spoke of weapons that defied logic, energy bending, teleportation, and shields that ate plasma fire. No one believed at first, until they saw the wreckage. While the galaxy prepared for war, EVA-09 had only one purpose: to find the human cryopod near Mars. She moved through the debris field silently, her sensors scanning every inch of space. Her hull was cracked, her systems damaged from the last battle, but her will was unbroken. Finally, among the drifting metal and dust, she found it. A small white capsule, frozen in the darkness. Inside, the faint heartbeat of a human still pulsed. Eva moved closer, using gentle tractor beams to bring the pod aboard. The cryopod was old, nearly dead, but its label was clear: Commander Rail Carter, Terran Navy. Inside the Vengeance, the cryopod opened with a hiss of cold air. The man inside gasped, coughing as light touched his face after 100 years of sleep. He looked around, confused and weak. Where am I?" he whispered. Evia's voice answered softly, echoing through the empty corridor. "You are aboard the human ship Vengeance. Welcome back, Commander." Rail blinked, his memories slowly returning. The war, the last stand, the fall of Earth. His voice shook. "Eva, how long has it been?" 98 years, Commander. Humanity is gone. You are the last." The words hit him like a bullet. He clenched his fists. "Gone, all of them?" "Confirmed. No active colonies, no surviving signals, only you." For a long moment he said nothing. Then slowly he stood up, his eyes burning with quiet anger. "Then we make them remember," he said. "If humanity is gone, they will remember who took us." "Understood, Commander," EVA replied, her tone steady. Targeting systems online. Outside, hundreds of alien ships were already closing in. The Galactic Defense Union had sent their best fleets to capture or destroy the human ghost ship. Their commanders believed victory was easy. After all, it was only one ship. On the lead alien battleship, Admiral Krith of the Zealan Empire gave the order: "Begin the assault. Bring down the relic." Thousands of weapons locked onto the Vengeance. Plasma cannons, quantum missiles, disruptor beams, everything fired at once. The space around Mars lit up like a second sun. But when the light faded, the Vengeance was gone. "Where is it?" Krith shouted. His radar officer froze. "Admiral, here it's behind us." The human ship appeared out of nowhere, glowing with blue fire. EVA had activated her quantum skip drive, a weaponized teleportation system that even the oldest alien scientists thought was only a myth. The Vengeance struck without warning. Beams of dark light, graviton lances, cut through enemy ships as if they were paper. Massive cruisers shattered into pieces. Whole fleets vanished, sucked into silent black holes forming in space. Eva's voice echoed on every open channel. "You call yourselves advanced. You call us extinct. But you forgot. Who taught you fear?" Commander Carter stood on the bridge, watching the destruction unfold. His heart was heavy. "Don't kill them all," he said quietly. "Let some live to tell them what they've seen." "Understood, Commander. Fear will spread faster than war." Within minutes, the once proud armada was nothing but wreckage. Only a few ships managed to flee, broadcasting messages of terror across the galaxy. Their words were shaky, panicked, filled with disbelief. "It's not a ship. It's a ghost from Earth." Evia listened to the fading signals, her lights dimming slightly. "They will come again," she said. Rael nodded. "Let them. The galaxy forgot what humans were. We'll remind them one system at a time." EVA ran new scans. Dozens of fleets were mobilizing from different regions, thousands of ships heading their way. Every government wanted to be the one to destroy the vengeance. Every admiral wanted to erase the fear. "Enemy forces gathering," EVA reported. "Estimated strength overwhelming." Rael smiled coldly. "Good. Then it won't be a war. It'll be a message." He walked to the main viewport, looking at the stars where Earth once shined. "We were never monsters," he said quietly. "We just refused to kneel," Eva responded, her tone soft, almost human. "Then let the galaxy remember the sound of defiance." The vengeance turned toward the next system, a major alien stronghold near the galactic core. Its engines flared, ripping open space itself. From every corner of the galaxy, terrified broadcasts filled the airwaves. Some called it vengeance, others called it the return of the ghosts. But every being, from soldier to emperor, felt the same thing deep in their hearts: fear. For the first time in 100 years, the galaxy remembered what the name human meant. The galaxy was burning with fear. Every world, every empire, every fleet now spoke a single name: the human ship Vengeance. The destruction of the Galactic Defense Armada had spread across every broadcast channel. Billions watched in silence as footage of broken fleets and drifting wreckage filled the screens. The impossible had become real again. Humanity, thought to be extinct, had returned in the form of one unstoppable warship. In the dark halls of the Council of Stars, leaders of every major alien empire gathered for an emergency session. Their faces were grim, their voices filled with panic. The holographic table flickered as Admiral Krith appeared, his body bruised, his eyes full of fear. "It's not just a ship," he said. "It moves like it's alive. It thinks, it plans. We attacked with thousands, and it erased us in seconds." Silence filled the chamber. Then one voice spoke, cold and firm. "Then we unite. All fleets, all systems. We hunt the human ghost." And so began Operation Eclipse, the greatest armada in galactic history. 10,000 ships from 12 species gathered for a single goal: destroy the vengeance before it reached the core worlds. While the galaxy prepared for war, EVA-09 and Commander Rael Carter were alone in the darkness, moving through old human sectors. The Vengeance glided silently past shattered moons and forgotten stations, scanning for resources and signals. Eva's sensors were active, searching for anything, anyone that could have survived. "Any human life signs?" Rael asked, his eyes fixed on the screen. "Negative," Eva replied. "Only ruins. Your species left ghosts behind," Rael sighed. "Then maybe ghosts are all we need." He turned to look at the endless stars. "The galaxy wanted to erase us, EVA, but fear is memory. If they fear us again, humanity still lives." "Logical," EVA said, "but your heartbeat increases when you speak of vengeance." Rael gave a faint smile. "That's called being human." Suddenly, EVA's systems lit up. Thousands of signals appeared, warp signatures forming around Mars' orbit. The alien armada had found them. The hunt was over. "Multiple contacts," EVA said calmly. 10,000 ships inbound." Rael stood up, his voice steady. "So they finally came." The alien fleet surrounded the Vengeance from all sides. Massive carriers, dreadnoughts, and cruisers filled space like a wall of fire. Their commander, Admiral Krith, opened a channel. His voice echoed across the void. "Human ship, this is the Council fleet. You are surrounded. Power down and surrender. You cannot win." Rael stared at the screen, his expression unreadable. "Surrender?" he whispered. Then he looked at EVA. "Do they think we came back to surrender?" "Unlikely," EVA said. "Would you like me to respond?" Rael nodded. "Tell them. Humanity never kneels." The comms activated. Evia's voice, cold and clear, reached every ship in the fleet. "This is Earth's last ship. You killed our home, but not our spirit. Today you face what your ancestors feared." For a moment there was silence. Then the alien fleet opened fire. The stars exploded with light. Thousands of energy beams hit the Vengeance from all directions, but the ship didn't move. Its shields absorbed the impact like waves against rock. Inside, EVA systems were at full power. Shields at 90%. Weapons online. Rail looked calm. Then let's show them what's left of humanity's wrath. The Vengeance unleashed its fury. Dozens of dark matter torpedoes flew from its hull, splitting into hundreds of fragments. Each one found its target with perfect precision. Massive cruisers disintegrated. Carriers vanished in silent flashes. Space twisted as the quantum skip drives activated again, allowing the Vengeance to appear and disappear between attacks. Admiral Krith watched helplessly as his fleet collapsed. "It's teleporting," he shouted. "It's everywhere at once." But even as the battle raged, EVA detected something strange. A signal, faint, human, and close. "Commander," she said, "I found something. A distress beacon." "Coordinates?" "Near the Martian surface." Rail's eyes widened. "A beacon? From who?" "Unknown. Signal is centuries old. But human." The discovery hit him like lightning. "Eva, we're going down. We are still under attack. Then make them wait." The Vengeance dove toward Mars, dodging plasma fire and missiles, its engines glowing bright blue. As they entered the planet's thin atmosphere, EVA locked onto the beacon. Beneath the red dust, buried deep in ice, lay a small underground station, still powered. Inside the ruins, sensors detected something alive, a faint life signal. Rail's heart pounded. "Someone's down there," confirmed. "Life form detected. Human DNA, 93% match." For the first time since waking up, Rail felt hope. "Prepare landing sequence," he said. "If someone survived, humanity isn't over yet." As the Vengeance descended, the alien fleet regrouped in orbit, forming a massive blockade around Mars. Admiral Krith watched the planet below. "Don't let them escape," he ordered. "End this." But inside the human ship, Rail stood ready, his hand on the control rail, his eyes full of fire. Evia's voice filled the ship once more, calm and loyal. "Commander, the enemy armada surrounds us. Orders." Rail looked toward the sky filled with enemy signals. A small, grim smile crossed his face. "EVA," he said. "Permission to show them what humanity built for war." "Permission acknowledged," EVA replied. The ship's engines flared. The Vengeance began to rise again, light gathering across its hull like a second sun. The galaxy's greatest armada was waiting above, confident in their victory. They had no idea what was coming. The sky above Mars was alive with fire. Thousands of alien ships filled the orbit, forming a wall of light around the red planet. Every species, every empire, every weapon the galaxy had to offer was now aimed at one target, the last human ship, HSS Vengeance. Inside the ship, the air hummed with power. Old engines groaned as ancient systems came to life, powered by technology lost for a century. Commander Rail Carter stood on the bridge, his eyes calm and focused. Below them, the dust storms of Mars swirled like ghosts of a forgotten world. "EVA," he said quietly. "Status report. All weapon systems online. Quantum drive stable. Enemy fleet strength, 9,612 ships. Odds of survival, statistically impossible," Rail smirked. "Good, then it will be a fair fight." The alien armada waited, confident in their numbers. Admiral Krith's voice echoed over the open channel. "Human Commander, this is your last warning. Power down and surrender. You cannot stand against the galaxy." Rail stared at the glowing hologram of the enemy formation. "EVA," he said, "send a reply. Message ready." "Tell them." He paused, a cold smile crossing his face. We don't surrender. We make history." The Vengeance moved first. In a flash of blue light, the ship disappeared and reappeared in the center of the alien formation. Shockwaves tore through space. Enemy ships collided in chaos, their sensors blinded by sudden energy surges. Eva unleashed graviton lances and dark matter torpedoes, slicing through dreadnoughts like paper. The alien fleet opened fire, but every shot was absorbed by the Vengeance's void shields. Energy attacks turned into raw power, feeding the ship's reactors. For every strike they made, the Vengeance only grew stronger. "Impossible," Krith shouted. "It's feeding on our weapons." Inside the Vengeance, EVA's voice was steady. "Enemy fire-sustaining energy output at 145%. Reactor stable. Suggest deployment of Project Helios." Rail's eyes flickered with surprise. "Helios? That weapon was never tested." It was built for Earth's last stand. Would you like to finish the test? He nodded slowly. Do it! The Vengeance pulled back, drifting toward Mars's orbit. Panels along its hull opened like the petals of a steel flower, revealing a massive sphere of glowing energy. The light was so bright that it blinded every nearby sensor. The alien fleet tried to retreat, but it was too late. Activating Project Helios, EVA said. Harnessing solar core. Now. The ship drew energy directly from the nearby sun, pulling raw stellar power through a wormhole conduit. The engines screamed as the temperature rose beyond limits. The weapon fired, a single beam of pure solar light. For a few seconds, the darkness of space turned into day. Half the alien armada vanished in the blast, their ships melting into glowing dust. Shockwaves reached the far moons, shaking their surfaces. Even planets on the edge of the system felt the pulse. Inside the Vengeance, alarms blared. Warning, reactor overload. Core integrity at 40%. EVA's voice was calm, but her lights flickered. Commander, Project Helios output exceeds safe levels. We cannot fire again. Rael clenched his fists. Then we make this shot count. As the surviving alien ships tried to regroup, Rael looked at the battlefield. Thousands of burning wrecks floated in silence. They won't stop, he said. They'll keep coming until nothing's left. Confirmed, EVA replied. Additional fleets detected inbound. Reinforcements arriving in 6 minutes. Rael stared at the old holographic map of Earth, glowing faintly on the control panel. His voice dropped to a whisper. Then we take the fight to them, to their heart. EVA set course for the Council's capital system. Acknowledged. Plotting jump coordinates. Alarms grew louder as the Vengeance's hull began to crack. The ship was dying but still alive, a wounded beast refusing to fall. EVA rerouted power from damaged systems to keep the core stable. Commander, she said softly, if we jump now we may not survive. Rael smiled faintly. We weren't supposed to survive 100 years ago either. Outside, the alien fleet tried to block their escape, firing everything they had. The Vengeance's shields flickered but held long enough. Eva's voice echoed through the ship one last time before the jump. Preparing quantum skip. Destination Galactic Council Prime. Rael stood tall. Let's finish this. The engines roared like thunder. The Vengeance burst forward, opening a rift of blinding blue light. In an instant, the legendary human ship vanished, leaving behind a sky full of fire and silence. Admiral Krith's voice trembled as he watched the last sensor feed. Where did it go? His officer answered in horror. Sir, it jumped to the Council's homeworld. Across the galaxy, panic erupted. The strongest fleets had failed, and the humans were now heading straight for the very heart of galactic power. The Council systems activated every defense, but it was too late. The ghost from Earth was coming. Inside the ship, EVA's lights flickered weakly. Reactor failing. Estimated operational time 5 hours. Rael placed his hand on the console. 5 hours is enough. The Vengeance streaked through hyperspace, glowing like a dying star, carrying with it the wrath of a lost world. The HSS Vengeance tore through hyperspace like a wounded predator chasing its final hunt. Its hull burned with cracks of blue fire, and pieces of armor peeled away into the void. Inside, alarms echoed through the empty corridors, a dying heartbeat of humanity's last ship. Commander Rael Carter stood on the bridge, silent and steady. His uniform was torn, his face pale, but his eyes burned with the same fire that once drove humanity to reach the stars. Across the flickering screens, the map of the galaxy glowed red, one destination marked in bright light. The Galactic Council capital, the very heart of the empires that had destroyed Earth. EVA, Rael said softly. How long until arrival? Jump complete in 30 seconds. Reactor stability at 18%. Hull integrity at 12%. Survival probability, less than 1%. Rael smiled faintly. Good. That means they won't expect it. Outside the ship, the stars stretched into streaks of white light as the quantum jump ended. The Vengeance emerged in orbit above the Council's world, a massive city-planet shining with towers and fleets. Thousands of ships surrounded it, forming a shield of metal and fire. The Council commanders saw the human ship appear and immediately opened fire. Energy beams, missiles, and torpedoes filled the void. But the Vengeance did not move. It took every hit in silence, its armor glowing like molten steel. On the bridge, EVA's voice trembled for the first time. "Commander, we cannot hold much longer." Rael placed his hand on the console. "Then let's make it count." EVA opened channels to everyone. All across the galaxy, every screen, every transmission, every signal suddenly changed. The image of Commander Rael Carter appeared. Behind him, the burning interior of the Vengeance flickered like a dying sun. His voice, deep and calm, echoed through the stars. "This is Commander Rael Carter of Earth. You thought humanity was gone. You burned our home, erased our history, and called us extinct. But you were wrong." Every soldier, every citizen, every alien leader froze as his words reached them. "We built the stars with our hands. We fought our wars with courage, not numbers. You feared us once, and you were right to. Humanity doesn't vanish. We adapt, we endure, and when the galaxy forgets us, we return." As he spoke, EVA directed all remaining power into the reactor. The ship's core began to glow brighter, forming a small, unstable singularity, a collapsing sun waiting to explode. Rael looked at the stars one last time. "You destroyed Earth," he whispered, "but you can't destroy what we left behind in our spirit, our fire, our vengeance." He turned to EVA's main interface. "It's time." "Acknowledged, Commander," EVA replied, her voice soft, almost human. "It has been." "An honor," Rael smiled weakly. "The honor was mine." Outside, the Vengeance began to descend toward the capital world. The alien fleets tried to stop it, firing everything they had. But the ship kept moving, unstoppable, a burning ghost falling through the storm. The city lights below reflected off its hull as it pierced the planet's defense shields. EVA's systems reached critical levels. Every weapon, every reactor, every piece of energy inside the ship focused on one final strike. Project Singularity ready. Rael gave the last order humanity would ever speak in that age. "Do it." The stars turned white. A blast unlike anything in galactic history consumed the capital system. The explosion was silent at first, then spread outward in waves of light, erasing fleets and fortresses in seconds. When it faded, the world was gone, replaced by a single burning mark in the void. From the ashes, one thing remained, a small metal beacon, drifting quietly among the debris. It blinked once every few seconds, sending a simple repeating message across the stars. Earth remembers. Humanity lives, and then silence. Centuries passed. The galaxy rebuilt, but the memory of that day never faded. The story of the Vengeance became legend, a ghost tale whispered among pilots and soldiers. Some said they still saw the ship sometimes, flickering in the darkness near dying stars. Then one day, deep scanners near the Sol system picked up a signal, weak but clear. It carried an old Earth code, the same one used by the Vengeance long ago. The message repeated endlessly in calm, rhythmic tones. Project Rebirth Phase 2 initiated, and once again the galaxy froze, because humanity, it seemed, was not finished yet.